Metro 4 just got leaked, and I have to say, it sounds good, it looks good. I will be honestly extremely surprised if this is not real. And the best part, if you're a Metro fan, you're not gonna have to wait a long time because Metro 4 is almost here. And the only thing that we don't know at this point is gonna be the name of it, because it's not gonna be obviously Metro 4. And it could be dropping as soon as next a week. Now, granted, I don't think it's gonna be next week, but let's get into everything we know about it because there's a surprising amount that I have to say I think it's very promising. In any case, the person who leaked the date and third party focus on the next state of play before Nate the Hate now claims that the new Metro game will be announced next week, and he did the drop here. He did the announcement on xcancel.com. Alexander N Gamer. Interesting. In any case, this person seems to be at least reasonably credible considering they leaked a bunch of stuff previously. So the leak seems to be more or less true-ish. Also, the industry plant Nate the Hate also corroborated and said, yes, this is true. We have a little bit more information here, and this is from GameFragger. Barely can say that on YouTube. A new entry in the Metro series could be revealed as soon as next week, according to multiple industry insiders. User Alexander N first sparked the rumors by stating that fans of the franchise can expect an announcement in the upcoming days. A reliable leaker, Nate the Hate, replied to the post simply confirming it's true, and later added in a separate thread that the rumors have merit. While nothing has been officially confirmed by 4A Games. By the way, I'll go over a couple of things that even give this more credibility because people are not talking about one very obvious aspect of the Metro franchise. But whatever. Or publisher Deep Silver. The alignment of these sources has generated significant excitement among long-time Metro fans, which is true. Metro fans have not seen anything for a while now, honestly. The last mainline Metro game was Metro Exodus, revealed in 2019. Keep this in mind. I'm going to walk back to this a little bit later on. It's going to be important. Since then, the series has remained quiet, with only occasional teasers and rumors keeping the community engaged. In 2023, Inside Gamers reported that the sequel, often referred to as Metro 4, was already into development. And this does make sense. Okay. All of this does make a surprising amount of sense. So, the reason why I also think that these rumors are probably true is, well, if you look at the Metro sales, they sold over 10 million units as accounted of February 2024. Yeah, currently it's not 2024, by the way. So they sold even more units until that point. Their sales have been 100% decent. And when you look into the budget of Metro Exodus, you're probably thinking that I'm going to say 300 million minimum. But no, because that is for AAA games. Metro is a well-known franchise, but it's not exactly by your typical AAA things. Now, it is considered a high-budget AAA title developed by 4A Games and publisher Deep Silver, but these are not your typical suspects per se. So, the chances are that Metro was made for way less than 300 million, probably around 200. And I mean, if they have sold, if they literally have sold 10 million units and the game costed $20, they have broken even. Now, granted, obviously, the game did not cost $20. I don't actually know how much it cost. I don't remember. But needless to say, they have made a lot of money. They have made a reasonable amount of money. Now, granted, all of these sales are not for full price. Not for full price at all, by the way. Even currently, I saw somewhere while Googling this stuff that Metro currently is 85% off on Steam, by the way, which is hilarious. The last mainline entry was, by the way, Metro Exodus. Keep that in mind because we have a lot to talk about Metro Exodus. Metro Exodus was divisive to a degree. Well, not to a degree, but it was a lot of divisive. Also, something that's interesting about these rumors is that people and sites who are posting extremely explicit leaked information, because there had been a build leaked a couple of months ago about Metro, turns out, 4. And everyone who's mentioning it, even actual, like, news outlets, Lamau news outlets, like Gaming Bolt, are actually taking off their articles about explicit rumors and leaks, which is very interesting. That does not happen often. And here's probably the most interesting one, because this actually goes a little bit in detail, and this is by CBR. Don't know what the fuck that is, but hey, here we go anyway. Metro 4 details leaking huge changes to the franchise. And there's a chance that you're hearing huge change to the franchise and you're like, oh no! And some of you are like, ah, yeah, hell yeah. I am personally of the ah, yeah, hell yeah. I really enjoyed the Metro franchise when it was in the Metro. Now, I don't think Metro Exodus was a bad game. I do think it was good, but I also absolutely hated Metro Exodus's world building. While in the Metro, the outside was dangerous and you tried to keep out the outside out. In Metro Exodus, the outside is like peaceful, calm, and not mostly dangerous in the slightest in broad terms. It's completely human friendly, and it honestly just does not make sense that humans have not reclaimed it at this point. Like, no, don't get me wrong, there are obviously dangers, but in the large swaths, there is not a single danger that humans on the surface could be facing that 15 AKs could not solve, honestly. So the fact that I do think Metro Exodus dropped the ball extremely heavily on world building. And the reason why I'm saying is because we're going to talk a little bit about the leaks. New details about the next installment of the Metro franchise have been leaked, and players will allegedly return to some familiar locations, which is cool. If the franchise gets bigger, it's always fun to actually go back to all the locations. I'm a big fan of that. I do appreciate it. I do like it. Member berries are good if they're done properly. Another major change might not sit well with longtime fans, but will certainly yield a refreshing take on a 15-year-old series. I absolutely hate game journals because they're like, oh, your franchise has done this for years? Why aren't you doing something new? Bro, because you don't need to do something new, okay? I play The Sims because it's The Sims. I don't want it to become a tactical military fucking shooter, okay? I want The Sims to be The Sims. Probably bad example, but you get the point, okay? I don't want my real-time strategy game to become a real-time shooter game. That's stupid. You do not need to drastically change or implement new things in a thing that already was good. That's just a bunch of bull, in my opinion. In a post on our Metro subreddit, user Richard Liquid has claimed that a source called something has uncovered new details about the still to be announced Metro Exodus follow-up. The source had previously leaked old Metro 2030 builds and unleashed trailers and early game footage from Metro blah blah blah. Metro Last Flight that posts details numbering changes. The big one being that Artyom, the protagonist of the last 3 games, will not be returning. I honestly think this is a common thing with these big publishers, or even in small ones, that after the 3rd installment, for some reason, it's almost set in stone that the protagonist must change. I don't know why, but it does seem like this constantly happens. You can't get a 4th installment of a game and the protagonist stays the same. And after, the 5th game, the 6th game is, oh, it's the old protagonist because no one likes the new one. It happens like goddamn clockwork, honestly. Metro might be losing a well-loved protagonist. Yeah, that's the jump part. And here's the most important part. According to rumors, Metro 4 will task players with exploring the hazardous environments of the irradiated Moscow and its metro, which sounds pretty good, not gonna lie. Following the footsteps of its predecessor, Metro Exodus, the game will pseudo-open world. The game will be a pseudo open world survival horror, which sounds honestly amazing. Because I liked the fact that the outside was dangerous and it seemed dangerous. And every time you encountered it, you were like, oh shit, this is gonna go bad real fast. Okay? I don't like the Exodus style of, oh, everything's peaceful, here's a train. I don't like the world building. I want to return to way more grounded, a brutal survivalist style of things, not your typical what's it called, the Bethesda game, Left 4, no, not Left 4 Dead, that's Valve. Far Cry. I think Exodus was way too much Far Cry, not Metro, effectively. So I'm someone who is personally happy with this change. Open world does make sense also because, well, every good game nowadays is open world, so you need to make open world. But at the point where open world is the new big thing and, something on Rails is looked down upon until someone makes something on Rails that's really good and then everything's gonna be on Rails again. Because life is a never-ending circle, if you haven't noticed. With maps being a large, yet at the same time contained. This is just your basic stuff of, oh, here's the industrial zone. There's a bunch of things you can do there. Oh, here's the seaside zone. You can do a bunch of things there. Oh, here's the metro. You can do metro things in there. That is the basic thing that we're looking at here. At the same time, contained. If exploration is handled the same way as its predecessor, the idea of finally exploring a post-apocalyptic Moscow is tantalizing. Previous jaunts through the destroyed city were highly linear and, while enjoyable, always struggled as far struggled of why did I read that? And who cares? Suggested a far more intriguing world beyond these segments. Yes, obviously you can do a lot of interesting stuff in the post-apocalypse. So I'm kind of looking forward to this. I think it could be great. I'm not going to read the rest of this. If you want to pause, go ahead, pause, but there's nothing too much interesting there. This was pretty much all the most important stuff. In any case, Metro 4 seemingly is going to happen, and currently, at least the broad idea concept does seem pretty good. I like it, at least personally. So this is great news for Metro fans. In any case, we're going to have to just wait and see, because, well, current year, and you know how that goes, boys. But anyway, have a nice day. Bye-bye.